Oh, kissing! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the LCO delivered by Menulog. It's Menulog meal time. We have this every week. I'm just, testing these. They
still work?
Are they on? I think they work.
Feels like they're still working, yeah.
Yeah, they work. Thanks, Corby. But look, Menulog meal time, of course. You guys want to win $30 to spend on Menulog? Menupog's in the chat right now. No exclamation, just Menupog. $30 voucher on the line. Win that. Of course, you can get yourself a nice little treat for dinner. For dessert, it's getting on in the evening, and it's, at least up in Sydney, it's pretty cold at the moment.
Pretty wet and wild.
Thinking something warm, maybe like a little apple pie, apple turnover, or put it in a microwave.
A little bit of
put. Either way, look, I feel like barbecue theme's pretty good as well for us right now. Mm-hmm. So, what is your favorite thing to eat at a barbecue? Just backyard, with the friends, with the fam. What are you putting on the barbie?
Just simple for me, mate. Onions, snag, ketchup, boom.
Okay, onions and snag.
You call it ketchup?
Ketchup, tomato sauce, whatever you want. Ketchup's what I'd say if I was still living in the UK, but tomato sauce here. Yeah. I just say whichever comes to mind.
They taste.
They say tomato sauce in New Zealand.
I swear tomato sauce tastes different, like in the US.
I think the recipe is like slightly
more
different.
Like vinegar in there or something. Anyway, what do you?
Do you know that all red sauce isn't tomato sauce? It has to specifically say tomato sauce. It can be made from apples as well. I think was the original tomato sauce.
What?
Well, the original ketchup was originally apples. I think.
Apples.
Huh?
It was red fruits.
That's not tomato.
It was red fruits.
What are you putting on the barbie?
He's like, shut up.
That boy, that boy, tell me what you're eating.
I mean, I can't go past the snag. Yeah. I can't go past. I can't do it. When I'm having a barbecue, just something quicker, easier, tastes good, easy to eat. Yeah. That's the issue with a lot of the other like barbecued foods.
True.
It's the ease of eating.
I feel like my favorite, onions. And then just like you cut a tomato into 3, throw that on. Ooh, couple of eggs. Ooh, little bit of bacon. Ooh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So good and almost as good as the peace roster. So let's throw that up there. We're done with Menulog meal time. We're jumping on into discussion for game number 2.
He's back.
Peace, Skimmy. Tell me about him.
Yes, well, Chan's back. 2 games in a row. Absolutely popped off. Personally, I feel like he had a welcome introduction. In terms of not single-handedly, but certainly allowing Peace to shine and try and find a little bit of momentum, right? 2 wins on the bounce, 1 comp that was heavily reliant on him showing that he can be an absolute AD carry menace. Played the Twitch, had a comp built around him. Absolutely, Lissandra and the rest of the team came together and said, here you go. But I think he finished the game, what, like 9-1-8 or something along the lines? Twitch and Yumi, absolute eat your heart out. But the team as a whole, I loved what Appy did that week, right? We were screaming, please, Appy, Lisa, give us a little bit more to try and work with. They played it well. So, excited to see.
Just popping the hell off. Now, let's talk about Kanga and who they're bringing in to the Rift today. We got Lemus back in ADC there, as well as TNC down in that bot lane. So, we'll see how the dynamic of these two go. Last week, of course, we didn't have Lemus here, but he's back, Rusty.
Yeah, Kanga with Lemus back is, I think last time we saw Lemus was like a Cogmore type game from memory, but it's 3 losses on the trot right now for Kanga. They've had 3 really hard games back-to-back in Order Chiefs and Pentanet.gg. So this is one of those games that kind of continues that list for them, unfortunately, for Kanga, right? Peace finding form. Not at the best time for them. No. So big statement game to be made here by Kanga if they want to get back into the mix and actually stake their claim of saying we're a top 5 team. Because right now it feels like there is a bit of a wash for being able to contest playoffs at all.
Yeah, look, a good kangaroo stake on the Bambi wouldn't go astray either, would it? Now, I feel like, this is going to be one of those testing games, not only for Kanga, but also for Peace, to see if they can, look, they had the clean week last week. They've got to start things strong here if they want to try to make that Super Week run look as good as last week. And look, having Cheon in bot, for some reason, it has just been turning into a whole lot of dubs. Violet as well, he did enable them to get the W last time over Kanga. But I believe, from what I remember, it was a little bit messy because Kanga was actually playing pretty well.
From memory, yeah, it was lived in the top lane playing the Cho'Gath. There was Lionel as the substitute jungler, right, filling, just camped top lane to Affinity, right? I believe, yeah, Liv was like 4-0 by like the 25-minute mark, absolutely popping off, and it was really a case of Tien losing lane, winning game, because it got to a point where the GP was far too strong, that the hyperscaling of a GP, of a Jinx as well, was just doing a little bit too much damage. So I guess this is almost like a clean slate in a way to say this is quote-unquote full force Kanga having another crack at things.
Okay. Do we think that maybe there's a chance we'll get a little Bel'Veth, slipping through in this game?
Depends on the junglers. It's kind of like what Dante said, it's niche. Like, not everyone's going to be playing it. It feels like it has to fit someone who has a very farm-oriented play style where they get protected. A lot of the junglers in OS aren't that. They play towards their lanes. So, and I don't think that Kanga's much of an exception to that, and I'm certain that Peace don't play towards their jungler unless they have team-based decisions to make. So I'm not sure we'll get it in this game.
Yeah, I'd love to see a little bit of Lisa Veth in there, but who knows? It's
Lisa Veth, you reckon?
Lisa Veth or Belisa. Anyway, we'll work on that one.
Italian.
I'm gonna have a quick chat with my man Fido because we got him here for the interview. Fido, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, Mac. I actually went back and checked, and I realized that I've been watching you for 5 years, since CGPL 2017.
Why?
When you started casting.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah, that's crazy. You did ANZ champs. I've been with you all the way.
Mate,
that's cool.
And that's why you're my favourite player, Fido. And I hope that you guys win today. Hey, Laura, could I change my prediction to Kanga real quick? Just real quick.
That's all right. No judgments.
Anyway, look. Hey, Fido. Let's start again now that the predictions are right on track. My favourite man. How you doing? So look, we got Lemus back. Are you adapting well to swapping up the ADCs left, right, and center here at the moment?
Well, I mean, it's Kanga Esports. It wouldn't be Kanga without swapping out a play every 3 weeks. But yeah, I think Lemus is going to be starting for the rest of the split. So hopefully we'll find some stability with core 5 players now.
Okay. Well, hopefully that works out. Now, look, it's annual, or yesterday rather, was National Compliment Yourself in the Mirror Day. I've been asking everyone what they've been saying to themselves the day before a game to get yourself pumped up, or just make yourself feel good. Hence a compliment. What were you saying to yourself yesterday to get ready for this game against Peace?
Oh, okay. A compliment. I'd say maybe as long as I don't die to a gank, I'm happy. Look, I've been dying to ganks a lot recently.
Very good. Well, look, I feel like that's a relatively good compliment. Just pull out that Azir again, do your thing, and get that dub for Kanga because you're my favourite player. I'll see you later. See you after the game when you win.
Thanks, Mac.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That was wholesome.
He was giving me confidence.
He just hit you with like,
I've been with you with the whole ride, 5 years. Ride or die, boy. I'm just like, hey, yeah. Hey, Fido. How you doing? Look, let's bring up the deaf fan vote. You guys get those points in. Put them on Kanga because I've just been full biased. I've just been lassoed by Fido, and he's telling me to keep on spieling the good word for Kanga right now. So get those Twitch points in. There was a lot of Gravitas fans probably angry about the result from last game. We'll see if there's some Kanga fans that are happy. We'll see if there's some Peace fans that are happy. And look, as I mentioned, never doubted Kanga. Put him as my prediction. I got butted up.
Mac
boys.
can be bribed with kind words.
Yep.
Absolutely. If you ever want to change Mac's predictions, just compliment him in the interview. He's all yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah. So why's Peace going to win? They're just looking good, looking too good on the stonks going up? Why?
I mean, that's the short of it. I think
Yeah.
that the stocks are rising. Peace with all respect to Violet, I still think he could have won those games last week. The team of Peace feels more confident with Chaeyoung playing. And my running theory is that because Chaeyoung's a young player, Lisa and Appy kind of take the reins subconsciously on being leaders in the team. And that feels like the piece from Split 1, right, that we're commanding was through mid-jungle. So I like what I've seen from them more with Chaeyoung playing, and I just hope they can actually enact that again with Violet there.
Yeah, I feel like, look, now's probably a good time to talk about as well before we jump on into Champ Select that there has been that technicality. So I think Kanga lose their second 2 bans.
They lose their 4-5.
4-5 bans. Yeah, so that one's out there as well. And even with that, I'm still predicting for Kanga, or I knew that ahead of time.
That's a vote of confidence.
Yep, that certainly is. So hopefully, look, I've put the spirit into Fido. I've put the spirit into Lived, my man up in the top lane, and they're going to pull through. You know, there has been a lot of really good early games from Kanga, you know, mind you. I am I'm, you know, thinking about what the positives at the moment, trying to, you know, figure out what's going on. TNC has been okay down in the bot lane, but I just want to see what Lemus brings back. I hear, you know, in solo queue, Lemus is an absolute monster, but we never really see what he's capable of or what I hear about him flourish well every time he gets to play in the LCO. So I'm hoping today that we get to see a little bit more from him now that he's back. Prove his worth a little bit, Skimmy.
Yeah, why not? I mean, this is the original way that they lined up, right? When TNC did make his debut for Kanga, it was with Lemus, right? So if there's an argument to be made about comfort, then hopefully, even if it is a one-game sample on stage, there's a degree of it there. But it'd be interesting to see what kind of direction they go with a bot lane pairing, right? If this is going to be their new starting lineup, their core 5, as Fido mentioned, to take them all the way through to a potential playoff spot, then it'd be good for them to try and find an identity. What is there going to be their bread and butter? Is it going to be, you know, engage heavy supports to try and get the ball rolling so they can alleviate draft woes elsewhere? Or is it going to be a case of, I'm drafting an Enchanter, you're going to pop off, you're going to scale, as Kanga have proven before, and we're going to win some way or another?
What are we feeling is going to be the entry route for Kanga? Are we looking towards sort of top lane with Pian? Look, he's had a couple of very rough performances of late, and Lived will generally have an okay early game unless he gets 1v1'd, limit test a little bit too hard. Is that going to be Kanga's sort of entry into the game through the top?
I feel like it has to be through jungle more than anyone else. And like, because it's obvious that he has laners to work with, right? We've looked at this team, we've said Fido's good. We know Fido's good. We've looked at Lived and said he can carry absolutely, but like the catalyst to both of those lanes is about the jungle movement, and I think that's the place that needs to integrate the most. Because right now, it feels like Kanga sit in lanes and they just win or lose through that. And they just continue to sit in lanes, and something has to change. And I do feel like that's where jungle and support, of course, but like jungle being a core part of that gets involved.
Are we expecting Appy to maybe change up what he's playing with any of the new buffs coming through?
He said he's got some spice, didn't he? Yeah, the last interview.
I feel like he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, he's been working on something, and let's see if we get to see what he's been working on, because Champ Select is ready. Game 2. Here it is.
Thank you very much, Mac. Yes, let's jump into game number 2 and see how this one does all go down. Peace up against Kanga, Peace on the left-hand side, and if we remember last time, this game went a fair bit of time, 33 minutes to be exact. Nocturne is an interesting ban. Was actually played in the last game for Foreigner. We do know that Lisa loves it from last split.
Yeah, absolutely. The Nocturne ban is still very interesting, though. It's the second game on this patch. We're seeing a lot of common trends here. I think that's fair to say, right? The Yuumi, the Seraphine going to be taken off the board constantly now. Red side actually going to ban Wukong this time around. That was the third champion in my list of must bans. And then you've got like your Gangplanks, etc. that you could consider. Nevertheless, this does mean that on this patch, ADs are going to be left open, such as the Zeri. And Zeri has a couple of really nice pairings that could go with it. But so far we know that Zeri has enough flexibility to just be pick ban, first side, blue pick here. And then Twitch is the response, Skimmy.
Twitch and Viego in tandem with one another. Quick visual clarity update for the viewers at home. That third ban, which is showing as a blank mark at the moment, was actually Belveth.
Okay.
So clearly a little bit of respect shown to the champion as a whole, just a blanket ban, or perhaps a little bit of scrim data. That we don't want to have to deal with that.
Lisa could definitely be putting the games in. Belveth's been out for a while. I would say he's a mostly discovered champion now for sure, and does exist 100% in solo queue. I just haven't seen it too often in competitive. It feels like teams either play it or they don't play it, and that's where we're at currently. Until the jury's still out on, is it broken? You know, is there a combo or a strat that just makes it too good? Not going to be seen this game. Zeri going to be paired with Nautilus and Xin Zhao this time. That is an extremely aggressive dually bottom side and jungle at the moment for Peace. I'm a big fan of this. I would love their comp to just have a Lissandra mid again, right? Just have a stable, good carry top lane if you wanted. Gwen could be in this comp for all you care at this point, right? Like, anything goes for top lane. Nara is probably best in slot, just looking at Peace's comp, not considering their opponents. Just the Lissandra, you know, get aggressive, make it easy for yourself. Team fight.
So much aggression, and that's what I love about it, right? This does really feel like the core of what Peace have been so renowned for in the past. Early game aggression, and certainly the tools to enable that has been a real reality. Response though from Kanga, right? No surprise there. Before any more bans can come out, right, to try and deny the Twitch from finding its true highlight potential.
Yeah.
They have locked in that Renata as opposed to Alulu, but it does feel like Renata is probably that go-to now.
Renata's also better into Nautilus. right? There's less risks playing Renata into Nautilus. She is just so good at disengaging and peeling into that champion. So I do think Renata is worth picking third before the bans could target it at all. Kale going to be taken away here. Now, if you watch LPL, there's a lot of teams that just are straight up picking Kale.
Yeah.
Mammoth style in terms of confidence. Sure. They will just lock it in. It's too good. And just try and get to late game and carry. I've seen the Shy go 0-7 on it and still just pick it next game because he does not care. He thinks it's broken. And look, if you're allowed to pick it, fair enough. We're going to see that ban. So when you've got like the one hyper carry champion like a Twitch, Kale obviously has extra value from just pressing the ultimate on. But that's not going to be seen, nor is the Veigar. A mid-range control that helps with peeling for a long-range carry.
Which is really Fido's identity, the split, isn't it? Right? Long-range, scaling mid-majors. It has been a Corki, it has been a Nazir, it has been a Veigar.
Yeah. One
sample size of a Lissandra, obviously. That was a very exciting comp for us to watch, right? A lot of control and composure. This one going to be a lot more close quarter combat, but certainly has similar ideas in mind, right? The ability to determine that portion of the map belongs to us.
Well, right now, the Swain you would consider flexible because Liv can play this pick, right? It most likely is in the hands of Fido, but we've seen it go mid and top, almost an equal share in the LCO. And with that in mind, you're now picking a top lane matchup knowing it could go there, so you have to show some respect to it. Gangplank a perfectly fine option. Just gets pushed out a little bit if that were the lane. And what do you pick mid now knowing that it should just be Fido playing a scaling aggressive laner like the Swain? This is where I think you do just draft for yourself. Like their comp is close range. I think the value of the Swain, yeah, this is a very good choice from them in terms of 1v1 matchups. Stealing the Swain ultimate is invaluable, can flex as well. You're kind of... I think Swain's way too good in this draft, is what I was going to say here. Looking at Kanga's composition, they're so good at peeling still. That could have been Azir, Cassiopeia, same thing. Close range, in-your-face champions versus Swain with ult that'll perpetually be on. Renata that can hit the ultimate as well and lock down that area. And then Cassiopeia that peels back. If they get going, their comp is nuts.
It's so huge. And I'm so excited, right? Because I've been begging, craving some Cassiopeia, right? When we think of Fido once again, he is that mid lane scaling mage, right? Obviously, Ryze is no longer in the fold of things right now, but Cassiopeia has always been one of those pocket picks, one of the first champions he actually played when he did debut here for the LCO.
True.
So I'm excited, right? I'm really excited to see another niche pick come out. And certainly, despite losing bans on their end, they've still managed to curate something that looks really strong.
Yeah, and you can't ban out mid lane champion pools anymore. I think there's just too many options. So they're just going to pick the one that is best for them. Kanga, of course, renowned for just playing their pocket picks that still fulfill the same role, the same fantasy of the draft overall. And I like what they've put together. They have some awkward gank setups for mid and jungle working together for sure. And I don't think their composition is crafted expertly for being a win more engaged type of composition at objectives. They want to be there first. They want to be able to counter punch harder than Peace punch, but that's the thing, right? That's what Peace's comp wants to do. They want to go forwards. They want to engage, absolutely. And so you're kind of welcoming this situation of like, if you were to stylize the comps, it's the sword and the shield. You know, it's the team that has to go forwards versus the team that wants to kite back.
I think that's a really good analogy because certainly when you see the aggression of a Xin, a GP, a Nautilus looking to try and control quadrants of the map and say we find a target, we get a kill. We allow the Zeri to literally skate all over the map and farm up those major multi-kills. But on the same end, if Kanga really can get the ball rolling, find some momentum, find some strength early, how do you ever face check a Pixel Bush when there's a Cassiopeia or a Swain inside, right? It's an absolute nightmare. And that's a question that we'll have to wait and see if it does provide us with an answer. Loading into the Rift here for game number 2. A big ask and a big chance to see what Kanga look like with a newly revitalized roster. 5 members strong, and this might be what sees them all the way through to a potential playoff spot. And as for Peace, running it back like it worked ever so successfully in the game's week 4.
Not very many chances to get a chill start to a game anymore. Lots of vision to be placed down, Skimmy. We'll see how they choose to play this one out. Early look in. Cull start for the Twitch. Tier start for the Cassiopeia. We are super scaling on Kanga's side as Liv looking for some stacks.
So he's looking for some stacks. We've seen this work before.
Yeah, we saw a 3-man from Biobanther.
You love that one.
That was like 24 HP level 1 straight out of the gates. Lemus was hiding. And he's
Angry at
mad.
his support. He's angry at his support.
He's
Why
angry.
weren't you there? Clear that ward, please.
Limas implying his support is still hiding. And it just means awarded the blue buff, they're going to disengage to their reds. So, in this game, we're going to have opposite side starts here for both respective junglers in the way that they clear. Kanga with a nice sweep through there as well. I'm going to make sure the vision is denied. But pathing from red towards bot side is Foreigner. Makes sense again. You're happy to isolate top lane. You're happy to bring mid down if necessary, yes, but very early on, Phyto tends to run a little bit awry of his mana pool with the Cassiopeia. And bot lane's the place that you need to ensure is good. You have to make sure that bottom is going well.
Bot lane's interesting for me, right? Because we have seen Twitch has drafted a fair bit in recent times, right? And they've naturally found themselves some rather good leads in the early portion as well. What's interesting for me, more so than anything, is the fact that TNC originally started on Peace, right? Started off as a support sub.
Very true.
Begs the question, does he actually know any secret tech, any tendencies, any things that these players will do that could try and give them an advantage?
He would have been sitting behind Chaeyoung as well, not Violet. Hook going to go wide there from Gunkrab.
That's huge. Oh, look at the handshake, bring them both together. Lose vision for just a second. Lane to try and play down some wards, but doesn't really matter. Top lane, though. Far out, that was very close. Flashes burnt from both solo laners as well.
Yeah, Liv, no flash, no potions. Bottom fighting again.
Still on, really, aren't we? We're just playing the ebb and flow. Back and forth we go, exchanging summoners really across the map.
And you've got a Xin Zhao hovering in the area, so just keep that in mind. Viego is about to be spotted on a ward from the jungler of Peace, Lisa. He's going to opt away from the skirmish, so both junglers are actually just going to know where each other are right now. Lisa again going to stay on vision. Very curious to see where Lisa goes from here, because pathing towards the top scuttle has got a full blue side to clear the Viego pathing down. So really it's like a high five on the way of the expected clears. Just a small detour for some wards placed. These bot skirmishes, I do feel like a big part of why the Twitch comps have been so successful is Ignite on supports for the first time in a while. We've been seeing Ignites almost every game. We've also got a 4-man bottom here and Chaeyoung by himself.
That's a huge roam, not only from Foreigner, but from Fighter to push out the wave and come down this early as well. How many minions can they deny from him?
I mean, most of that wave. And it's not just minions, it's not just gold, it's experience. Limas and TNC feeling very comfortable about this. I don't think you can dive this now. Turrets still do way too much ramping damage this early on. But they slow down any kind of advantages that Chaeyoung would want, and they are hunting.
Certainly hunting, they're looking for the face shake from Chaeyoung. Gunkrab lands the hook on TNC, their handshake onto one target. That's their focus, that's all they're interested in. The bailout has been activated for that attack speed, for that movement speed, for that rundown potential. The potential, so much so, that Gunkrab has to actually respect flash away.
Yeah, Gunkrab, of course, is going to be the one expending most of his health to try and keep Chaeyoung alive. This is one of those really tragic lane situations. If you throw hook as Nautilus, you might hold that all.
Agonizingly close to setting up that gank and make it ever so easy for Lisa.
Fido just gets to stand in front of them 1v2 and take them on. Dash still there from Lisa. W still available. But the biggest goal here is to push the wave in to reset it for the sake of Appy going back to base. Fido, of course. Oh,
Gunkrab, an absolute madman unleashed. He's found the kill, he's found the opportunity. First blood there for Chaeyoung, and then it just dashes across the wall. It looked like, and it felt like Kanga had the opportunity to get the kill. But Gunkrab ran the numbers. The execution was perfect.
Oh,
Pressure by Kams. Lived. Your 2 kill on the 1v1. Agitated in his player cam. And ultimately in the outcome too.
Bot getting a kill, top getting ganked. Everything going wrong all at once here. Lisa's legitimately just cleared mid-wave to help his mid laner reset, ganked top lane, and it worked. That's the kind of thing that you really don't want to see.
Literally worst case scenario.
Yeah, Gunkrab going to try and freeze this wave. He's not going to be able to, so it will eventually be lost. Gunkrab, I mean, if you look at the damage taken stats, he's padding them. He's definitely, at every possible moment, has been taking damage from Limas on this Twitch. And that's tragic, because it's been going so well. The thing that I was going to say is, in Nautilus versus Renata as a matchup, if Nautilus is hooking first, you're in advantage if you're the Renata, because you can just sit back, you can hold your handshake, you can just put the shield out. Nautilus is going to do 0 damage to you or the carry that he hits. The only downside is that a Glacial Augment field is going to be there. So if you're able to move the fight off that Glacial Augment field, ball's in your court, you can return the serve and just do so much more with it.
On again. Ultimate stolen away there. Petrifying Gaze will not connect onto Fido. he will not get a taste of his own medicine. There's a lot of members who are hovering. Supports, junglers, they're all here. No full overextension to make anything actually happen.
Yeah, just hunting. I mean, the ganks are positionally predictable. You know, supports resetting from base just to the bottom side of mid. Junglers pathing from top side of mid. They just try and collapse and pincer, but everyone's doing the same thing at the same time. Appy went for legitimately just a Hail Mary, it felt like there. If it works, it works. You know, the other thing here as well, Skimmy, that stands out to me is we've got 4 Conquerors in this game. One from Fido, one from Liv, 2 of the mages that can actually benefit from having Conqueror as one of their primary keystone runes of choice. We've seen Swains do a whole host of different runes, but I feel like in a very melee-heavy comp here against Peace, you'll get a lot of ability to use that Conqueror to the maximum value for both healing and damage output. Cassiopeia, we know, just goes Conqueror. Unless the Q-Max build comes back where you do Ludens into Comet, you're just going Conqueror.
Then the poison Twin Fangers go absolutely crazy, and the uptime is as high as you say. Makes sense, obviously, for the Swain too, once the ult's active as well. And just really stand, dance, deliver. Everybody starts to burn on down. Gunkrab has been very aggressive though, hasn't he? Very present on the map to try and run laps from top to bot. Getting his cardio in for the day.
See, while that's true, what is he getting from this roam, right? Like, the roam in itself is okay. We're at 8 minutes, so they're trying to push mid out. A lot of time has been spent ensuring mid gets pushed.
Can he land the kill? No. Flash away from the Demon Eyes as Foreigner comes in, lurking from those shadows. Is now the counter engage on, as Appy's going to make a late surge forward. Looking to see what he can get. We can still win ultimate.
Yeah, that's all he wanted. I don't think that gank was ever going to happen. You also can acknowledge that Lived with 0 mana to his name. Wasted the ultimate there. Is just going to have to concede. Go back to base. It means that Peace will be able to hit themselves a Herald for completely free. In terms of trades, Kanga are going to look for plates in bot side, which is fair, right? They're in a losing situation. They had no choice.
All fights on. Flash forward from Fido, locking him in place. Foreigner hiding in the bush. That's a beautifully executed kill, and the first one for Kanga.
Yeah, like really well done by Kanga, but super greedy from Appy in terms of passing. Just face checks. Doesn't have the hover of his team. Could have just walked the safer path, but straight into the bush, finds himself a jungler. Foreigner could have been doing camps, but he's going to play towards his mid laner. That's what a lot of this game has become.
Scary prospect now, because look how far ahead Fido is in CS. Up by 20 to hook!
Every Nautilus that isn't Gunkrab hits that one, just from crazy hitboxes. Gunkrab has to feel robbed.
I've seen that hook hit.
Yeah, 99 times out of 100, that hook hits.
You would feel robbed for sure.
He's probably a little bit upset by that one, but RNG gods were not on his side this time. Wasn't even a juke. It was just a tragedy. Appy going to clear this one out. So yeah, I mean, you mentioned the lead Fido has. He's in a good spot. He's feeling very happy about himself. That doesn't get any better for Peace, who want to be going into the Cassiopeia. The Twitch has been farming pretty freely. He's working towards his first big item spike of the game. Looking like a bit of a Blade of the Ruined King angle, but the Zeri's fine. Chion's got that kill, and we are just getting ourselves to this mid-game point, right? We're going to have Drakes on the card. The first Drake was fairly late by the standards of like rush Drakes at the moment. And it's actually going to coincide with the second Herald. So that to me is a big breaking point in this game to see where things start to happen. And that's also a point in the game where we're at like Mythics and some, 1.5 items potentially. If someone gets really fed between then and now, 2 items. I think that's where it all kind of comes to a big team fight head.
So both teams well adept, as well as being rather well equipped for those big team fights, if it was to all boil down to just that. I was just passively enjoying the fancy feat there from Tien, dodging out every single claw that Liv was throwing his way. No free stacks for the Swain.
Junglers are just reading each other's minds this game. I think that's definitely something that we've seen Lisa and Foreigner meeting everywhere at all times. And it makes you wonder, like, the actual goals for both respective junglers here, do either of them feel incredibly pressed to make plays? Are they worried about the other team scaling? You know, is that an issue? We spoke about Peace really wanting to engage and go forwards. That's just because the threat of the Twitch is going to be so high scaling damage-wise. And it's going to outrange Chaeyon for sure. But Their composition actually is incredibly good at kiting backwards anyway. One Gangplank Keg on the disengage. Since Ao doesn't take damage from long range as well. Appy can steal Cass ults, can steal Renata ults as well, right? And be just as impactful. Nautilus can peel. And Zeri wants to kite. You know, if you're coming towards Zarya, then she gets to kite more successfully and gain that movement speed from her ultimate. So they can do the same thing, and that's where I guess the question comes into play. Are you worried about the range? Lived ulting.
Certainly is. Tien could be in trouble right now. He doesn't have a flash. He's already burnt that one. He's going to cannon barrage on top of his head and look to try and salvage something in a 1v2, but Foreigner will deny that with the Heartbreaker, claiming the soul and becoming the GP. Question now becomes, do they want more? Do they run on towards Lisa? There is the ult reset. Just misses the stun. Now mid lane starts to rotate upwards, but then they back away, actually. They're just leaving these junglers to have a 1v1 biff against themselves. Lisa has flash. He's going to hit that challenging smite, look to try and turn around. Swain comes on in. Demon Eyes go down. Another stack. And that's about that.
They'll get the ultimate out of Lisa, so that's perhaps the win that Foreigner needed. Nothing beyond that, however, as realistically Lisa just kept dodging the stuns, just held his own. Did his job extremely well there to disengage. Herald going to be summoned here actually by Lisa, acknowledging and knowing that Kanga have gone back to base. He's going to get the charge off for himself, perhaps just trying to sneak this in before it times out and before turret plates disappear. But clearing this wave as Xin Zhao takes a lot of time, and it's not going to be a full health Herald.
He isn't, but Tien's here. Both top laners have TP back, flashing away from that preemptive barrel stack. Gunkrab's here as well. Liv's already in trouble. He's already burnt the flash. Sidesteps the hook again. Put the depth charge. Coming as the aftermath. I mean, it's done its job. It's zoned him away from the turret.
I mean, that's really unfortunate for Gunkrab. My support brain ticked over there, and I would have, you know, walked an extra 100 units closer towards the Swain. Even if he dodges, you hit a wall, and you can auto-attack for the stun and proc glacial. It's quite tragic, because Gunkrab is having an unfortunate. There is luck involved. He's been having an unlucky game. He's been getting dodged constantly, but unfortunate game so far from him. Otherwise, though, charge happens. They get what they want. The flash out of Liv is quite the overextension from the Swain, looking to stop the Herald from having a full health charge. Could have just sat back and hit it with range damage, but tried to hit the eye and was punished.
He's been punished in the gold settings as well, right? He's copped a bit of a beating, but he must be sitting pretty and feeling happy, optimistic about their chances right now as Limus and Fido, top of the table, the most fed individuals in this game right now. Certainly, you would not be upset.
They should be pretty aware that Fido could be in this bush. The question is how they walk in. And Nautilus by himself with Sweeper up. This Nautilus is very killable. Level 6, Boots of Swiftness and Glacial Augment, not Aftershock, means that you can absolutely 100-0 Nautilus in a Cassiopeia Ultimate Stunlock. Something that the Gunkrab will have to keep in mind if he continues to try and face check to get vision for his team. Right now, Peace has zero intent to contest this one whatsoever. Not even really vision control set up for the Rift Herald. It feels like they're in two minds perhaps how they want to play this one out. You've got Tian pushing top because he has confirmation that the Drake was secured, but they're not looking to contest the Herald at all. They're staying bot in their 2v2. They're pushed in mid, so they're stuck holding this one. Just means a free objective for Kanga.
Like responding to waves and dealing with the current threat, which is that we can worry about that Drake in just a second. They might have to worry about this dive threat in just a second as well. A 4v2 about to happen, no response, and only a TP from Appy to try and back this one up. Completely zoned away from that wave.
Okay.
Their trade will be the Heralds.
Yeah, but this trade, while you're looking at the objectives on the map and saying, okay, it's effectively a Drake for Herald, they're also going to lose a whole bot turret because they've been pushed back. Keeps ourselves in a very much even game state as the gold is concerned. Herald has the possibility to break the mid turret or something like that, right? Open space, open the map for them. But up until that is successful, Kanga have traded up.
So we have got an objective and some. And now a blue buff on towards the Cassiopeia with 360 stacks on that tier with a Leandries and now with a Dark Seal.
The tragic timing actually.
Pretty nice.
When you're looking at blue buff timings, you'd like to have that for the Drakes, for the Heralds, etc.
Much like a package, like on a Corki, yeah.
The tragedy here is if another fight breaks out for the next Drake, blue buff's not going to be there. That will continue for the rest of the game as the timing is just going to coincide a minute late. Cassiopeia very mana hungry, however, has the 360 stacks, so should be alright.
No harm, no foul. As lanes will now start to shuffle around. Looks like laning phase is very much coming to an end. It is all going to be about finding those individual picks in those side lanes to try and really create a bit of a divide in this game, which is as close as it comes, 16 minutes in.
Only one person in the game who doesn't have a mythic completed. That is going to be Lived, who is being currently zoned away from bot as well. And Peace, I think they've really found a wound to pick at. You know, 16 minutes into this one, the Swain struggling. Kanga can't trade anywhere else on the map. They just get themselves a free turret. That's without the Herald summon, Skimmy. Now they get to place that mid as well. Gangplank going to stop any kind of transaction, even for damage on that top turret.
Huge.
You can't ask for much more. They're just winning the map, and Kanga have no counterpunch to throw.
Get a turret bot, respond to the sidewave pressure that Kanga were trying to threaten response, and still with a Herald in possession, as you quite rightly point. They've got all the tools, all the tricks up their sleeve to say this is what we're doing. And you are forced to respond. Let's see what Lived can get his hands on, as he will finally go back to base and look to try and get that first item online.
Nah.
Controlled.
17 minutes without a mythic completed.
Wow.
It is a very tough game for Lived.
1v1. How do you fancy your chances here for Limus right now? Blade of
He
King has
fancies
been
him.
popped. Summoner Heal has been burned, as well as the Immortal Shield Bow.
Limus didn't even ult. Heal used. Very well done by trying to reserve the flash, knowing that Limas had sums of his own, but I'm surprised Limas didn't pop the ultimate there and force a flash or anything. I guess he goes now. He had enough auto attacks off. I'm sure Lethal Tempo would have been procced from him. Perhaps not really going all in on that killer instinct. Either way, heal gone.
Certainly will be the silver lining, as Kanga finally will get a chance on the map to utilize their numbers advantage and force out another turret. This will be their second of the game to even out the odds between both sides on the Rift. I say that, and it's held on by just a fraction.
Yeah, just by a thread. Foreigner going to step up here. Gunkrab going to find him in a second if he's not too careful. And ultimately, Kanga just trying to control mid priority. It does feel like both teams have acknowledged the importance of this mid lane priority over the objective first. Joe not willing to let the turret drop. He's going to try and tank these minions before they get to the fight. 40 seconds, give me on the clock.
I think it's an interesting time as well, right? You mentioned how Peace want to try and drive on forward, want to be aggressive, want to get in your face, but can certainly disengage and hold their own in that front as well. But Kanga putting in a lot of attention to not only the mid priority, but also to clearing out the vision so they can be the first one to that Drake to get 3 back-to-back.
Both teams want the other to face check them. That really is best case scenario. Gangplanks all around the world want to set up in a bush with a single keg there ready to go and just absolutely smash the triple powder keg and hit a penta. Cassiopeia obviously wants the same thing, as does Twitch. Held to be summoned here, but Drake in 5 seconds.
Forcing him out of the river to concede their position. The hostile takeover only onto one right now as Lisa taps onto Tien for 2 seconds. He's got the Crescent Guard active. He turns around when the wind becomes lightning, lived across the wall, drags back one, flashes in with the Demonic Ascension. He's ready to rock and roll. He's got that item, he's got that Rylai's, and he has got lockdown potential. It's a 2-for-1 so far. Chaeyan running to the heels, and Fido lurking in the Dragon River. Keen to go back and claim their soul point.
Yeah, they'll get themselves the Drake. Peace are going to push top lane. They're going to look towards the top lane in a turret. That's the trade they want to try and make here. But they are the ones on the back foot as Kanga find themselves with a lot of success. And it's not even Kanga who are even on the same page. That was a messy decision from them overall. It was Limas and TNC looking for the fight. The rest of the team not so much. But then it started looking good, so they came back. And that's really where things started to go their way. But they'll get the Drake. They'll threaten the soul point. Kanga, we mentioned this, they give themselves a very nice win condition that is going to be there, especially Hex Tech Soul.
He is. Top tier 2 traded for mid tier 1 and the Drake. Question now becomes who can take this red buff as Liv has made light work of it. You mentioned before, Gunkrab is very squishy with the itemization and the rune choice, and oh, very lucky.
I mean, okay, but like, let's ask the question. I'll hold that thought. We'll watch this fight one more time. Ronaldo ult hits Lisa, buys them some time. Gangplank ultimate going to push TNC and Limas back, and Limas wasted his ultimate onto his Xin, who had his ult up. But Fido hits the flank, Foreigner hits the flank, and by the time they get here, the fight was done. Peace looking for the outer turret. They choose to go one step too far, and that's to go for the dive. And diving into a Twitch Renata, you know, makes it pretty easy for Kanga to get the flank. My small rant, Skimmy, is what are you hoping to achieve as Gunkrab there? If you steal the red buff, good on ya. If you don't, you die. like what is your goal? Just be Nautilus.
Exist. Ult.
Exist without having 10% HP for an attempted red buff steal. Because that's time you're not on the map as a support, and you're the crux of the vision control.
Paramount, for
if
sure.
Peace want to set up for an objective.
Looking for a cheeky hex slash angle here, but Foreigner's got the mist deployed. And ready to see what he can find. They're getting a lot of attention now towards the top half of this map as Tien has just pushed that one out. Depth charge on towards Foreigner, the jungler in trouble. Hostile takeover actually going to be baited out, as is Appy going golden for just a hot second. Heartbreaker on top of his head, but the split target decisioning. Kanga really just trying to fight anybody that gets in close proximity.
And small aside for the Renata pick in general, Chaeyoung may get stunned, he's going to dash away, is that when Zeri gets hit by it, she does nothing.
Appy looking for it right now, he steals away the Swain ult. The Cannon Barrage came on down, but by that point, Kanga had already disengaged away, so a little bit non-committal.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say though, Kanga's still surviving a lot of these advanced attempts by Peace, still well and truly with a chance in this game. You cannot overlook the Twitch now with 2 items done, working towards a third. Probably is the break point that you're after if you're a Kanga fan to really actually win this game. One big team fight is all it could take. They found Foreigner.
Oh, they caught out Foreigner. Just caught him on that recall. The drag back with the claw. Is that enough to try and give him a chance? He's flashed across the wall. He's hit the chains. And he's found the kill at a fantastic time.
Yeah, really well done by Appy. Jumps over the wall near the blue buff. Just catches him recalling. And just caught sleeping there, unfortunately. You gas them up, they'll find an opportunity with the perfect timings to acknowledge Caster's curse everything, don't they? And now Peace to push.
Game on. Another turret found here by Tien, putting in a sizable amount of work on this GB. Despite the KDA, 2 items complete. He's got the heal reduction.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Zeri just uses her auto attack when hit by Renata ultimate. Does actually nothing.
Sure.
Hits you one time and then it's just the Peace shooter. So one of the better AD carries to pick into Renata. Renata, of course, is picked into Zeri.
Would you say it's like similar to an Ezreal conversation?
No, Ezreal does a lot of damage with autos. Renata's, Zeri's rather got that very niche case auto attack that charges up for one big hit.
Oh, here we go. Landed the poison, but he now realizes
Teleport.
he's in a 2v1. Now it's going to be a 3v1. Depth charge is going to call one out. They've stolen away the Petrifying Gaze. He's got the flash, he's got the ignite. They turn around, Petrifying Gaze, eat your heart out, but ultimately too much CC. No protection, no backup.
Yeah, Fido sits in a bush, tries to bait the pick onto a recalling Appy. It results in his death and a Baron being started. 9,000 health left on the Baron buff. Can they get into the mix? TNC with the ultimate there. You could expect a big one from him. Lisa knows he's right there, though.
He's got to find the angle. He's got to find the way to try and maneuver in this situation. The Cannon Barrage comes on down, splits the team apart. They're zoned for the meantime. That's a massive ult from Renata. TNC, has he done enough to try and swing the tides of this fight? It's a 4v5, let's not forget, but they're winning right now. But they found the hook! They found the Twitch! And Limus is dead. He burnt the flash, he burnt the heal, but he didn't survive, and that's a big deal. Kanga still pressing forward, a shutdown for Tien, but he's dead for 40 seconds. A flash forward as Foreigner claims free. Now 5-1. He wants the quad. He wants the ace. And that's what he'll get.
And he'll get 4. Lisa, the only person left alive. Drake about to spawn here as well, and this means that Kanga, they will secure themselves a completely uncontested Hex-Tech Soul.
Huge.
This all starts from their mid laner being caught. So think about the series of events that followed this, how crazy it is. It's legitimately Foreigner and Lived 1v9ing. Because watch this again, Limas, just watch how the Twitch plays this. It's so tragic. He's going to press ult, Lisa's going to press ult, and it's all gone. It's all wasted. He's done legitimately 0 damage, just gets hit by the Nautilus hook and dies. That's it. But meanwhile, Foreigner gets the first kill, gets the reset on the gangplank, finds the second right away, has the Zeri mechanics and dodges down. And that's it, right? You get 1 reset on Viego, the floodgates open. And very comfortable on this pick. The difference it seems to make when Viego's available without a Wukong on the enemy team.
No doubt about it. Found the resets, and that's all you can ask for. You've got the damage, and you've got the ability to try and win out that game. Looks like we've got a small pause. We'll find out what that is all about in just a second. But for the meantime, we can, I suppose, talk about the current state of the game, because that was a as you rightly mentioned, a crazy set of affairs. All starts with Fido getting caught out with a TP committed to make it a 1v3, and then, yeah, Peace clearly feeling far too strong in a 5v4.
It does feel like we've had a game of, it's not perfect, right? We've had a lot of little mistakes here and there. We've had a lot of baits. We've had a lot of attempts and forces. But when all said and done, we are looking at an absolute monster of a Viego. Lisa trying his best. I would say he's playing it the best way that he possibly can. It's Tian and Cheon that are putting in work in terms of gold and damage in these team fights. And Limas, really, it feels like the fact that Kanga are doing so well and going even, and we're yet to see a big fight from the Twitch and the Cassiopeia, the potential that is there from this draft is just so incredibly high.
Certainly is limitless. But they do have the tools to lock down those key carries to prevent them, as we just saw in that previous fight, being truly unraveled. Well, they got the Hextech Soul. That's a big deal. A lot of damage, a lot of slowing potential, and a bit of static AoE as well. Why not? They found the hook. They found the target. They found Cheon. He's in trouble. He's scattered across the wall into the waiting and the willing arms of that Swain, who's gone golden for a second. He chucks out a stun. There's the cannon barrage. Lisa finding an angle. He can't find it. He can't jump in. Neither can Appy. They're topped up and healthy, but the mid jungle will not be participating in this fight. Kanga have wiped the floor with him. Now it's their time to shine.
And Livs just finds the angle, comes in incredibly clutch, finds Cheon as well, and the only way out for this Zeri was towards the Rylai's Crystal Scepter on a Swain with the ultimate there. They'll pick themselves up the Baron buff. And Kanga now very much in the driver's seat, not just with a Drake Soul secured, but with a Baron buff in pocket. And so many chances now and so much time to actually push forwards and break structures. E-connects, flash forwards from Fido. I love the lack of hesitation. He just goes straight in. And then just get Foreigner into the mix, completely disregard the rest of the squad. That flash was brilliant from him because it means the Nautilus hook actually goes straight into the wall and misses. And then Guncrab definitely dead. Well, the rest of the team was so split that they actually get picked off just trying to help.
Huge. Kanga really making it look good so far. 28 minutes in, and still, you know, there is no great divide in terms of the gold overall, but really, Kanga have every single buff you could ask for.
This is the same thing that we've been saying for Peace, just on repeat, right? We're not seeing anything from them. I'm actually holding my breath. Like, the fact that we toggled off vision of the Twitch is like, oh god, where is he? Felt like Cheon was in danger, but he's alright. We're just not seeing Peace exist until they get to team fights, and now they're against the comp that team fights better, right? In reality, what are Peace providing us right now? At all.
It's a tough ask, but Tien's not going to give up just yet. He's pushing top lane once again. The hook goes out just shy of connecting on a key target. Kanga won't mind. That means they can continue in a 2-3 split. Push out mid, push out bot. Utilize this Baron to get as much pressure as possible. Liv is responding, as you say. Top lane inhibitor does not want to be traded.
Engage. No? Oh. For just a moment there, you thought about it potentially being possible. Tian with the teleport himself, right, means that you draw the pressure top, you make the play bottom and teleport in. Not going to be able to find what they were after. Very close as well to breaking that top lane inhibitor turret. There's always going to be the threat of a gangplank split push, for sure. But still, I mean, I can't help but feel like this is Kanga's game to lose in every possible way. Mistakes are required from Kanga for Peace to win this one. That includes letting Tian sit in the side lane and split push till the Nexus dies.
So there could have been an angle there, as you highlight, right? The fact that he could have TP'd in, Cannon Barrage comes on down, you're not able to disengage, and suddenly it is another situation with a numbers mismatch. They did not want to hedge all their bets on that just yet, though. We may be getting ourselves primed and ready for what has only been the third Elder so far this split.
Kanga really showing where they are as well. They don't care that Peace know. Limas not really doing any damage yet. Appy's so caught. Why is he here?
Yeah, Appy in a lot of trouble right now. The Everfrost goes out, still to Petrifying Gaze, fights on top of that Cannon Barrage, but just gets locked in place, so no chance to shine, to sustain, or at least trade for one.
But there's absolutely no reason for Appy to be there. He knows they're in his red side jungle. They've used the Viego E on the wall near the Raptor camp. There's nowhere else that they could be. That's not an excuse for him to die. There's no excuses there. So Inhibitor's going to drop. You've got Elder up. in 50 seconds, and they have such a good inside track for that with vision control. They can bait it. They can play however they would like it. They've got a Twitch composition as well. Push mid lane, have minions set up, and just send the Twitch invisible to see if you can pick anyone off. And look at how they play. Live no teleport. That is one thing that stands out to me here. Peace actually group as 5. They've seen the Swain pushing top.
Seriously pinging mid right now. Kanga wrapping around, looking to try and force a pinch of their own. They've missed the stun onto Tien, but still they're looking to lock him on down. He's into Miasma, nowhere to run and nowhere to hide.
What are you doing, Guncrab?
Oh, the control
Where
is
are
just
you going,
absolutely
Guncrab?
insane. Guncrab's going to force a hook, but it's a 5-level deficit, especially in a 1v4. A very squishy Nautilus. He's not going to provide you with much. Foreigner is 9-1.
Foreign's having an outstanding game, but at the same time, he's just been given a couple silver platters here of enemy champions just sitting on it. You take those any day of the week. Elder spawns. 2 members gone from Peace. They can't contest this. Lisa's steal is going to be a miracle at best. He'd have to flash this wall, hit a wind becomes lightning, and then dash over to even get there. It's going to be no shot at all.
You're hedging your bets on a combo like that.
How did we get here?
It would feel pretty disastrous. Well, I mean, I guess we just always go back to that point in the top lane with fighters caught in a 1v3. Peace felt like that was all it took to try and win that Baron fight, but I guess it came down to TNC landing a massive ult and the cooldown reduction or the composition as a whole to find that initial kill, the resets.
I always call it the Viego gap as well. Most teams will have a moment where Viego can get resets. It's inevitable, right? It's just bound to happen at one point, and that mechanic is so abusable, especially in imperfect League of Legends. And Ost is not perfect League of Legends. Peace are prone to making mistakes. They find a 4v5, they still lose the fight because the Viego effect simply exists, and Foreigner goes crazy.
Peace just need to weather the storm right now. 90 seconds, ever so important to determining the game factor, the ultimate outcome of this. They certainly got strengths to talk about, but they're up against so many buffs to try and contend with. If Kanga can't end it here, they've got a Baron to retreat to.
Gangplank, no ultimate. The push is absolutely going to happen here. The question is, how much do Peace lose? You have to probably concede this inhibitor now the turret is broken. You're looking at realistically 2 inhibitors to fall. Chona's in melee range.
Not where you want to be. Lemus is finding himself at a spot above it. Oh, a flash away. That hook could have been all it took.
I feel like he should tank that hook as he probably kills them, but either way, yeah, he's going to flash. They'll pick themselves up the 2 inhibitors that they intended to set out for, and they are still looking. Nord
Triple inhibitor set up a 2-man ult from the Nautilus, knocks them up. 40 seconds and Elder is still intact. A 2-man claw from Liv. That's what it takes. Proc that demonic ascension and absolutely run away with it. They are marching their ticket towards the Nexus. They are marching towards an upset. And they really want to show that last time they were ever so close to taking down Peace despite their perfect week 4. This is what Kanga looked like at full strength. The playoff dream ever so early on looks like it's well back on track. If this is their starting 5, then what a 5 they are. The result they're after and a win they will get.
And a good win at that from Kanga. They picked the scaling team fight composition. They scaled, they got to team fights. Peace, again, I will say they presented the L on a silver platter. They gave up so many chances for Kanga to pick them off, and they did. Kanga did not hesitate.
Oh, cool guy TNC.
Yeah, we've got our sunglasses on.
He's poked the glasses on because it's just far too hot looking inside when the mirror's on you. The reflection in the screen, because that was a pretty impressive Renard performance there, mate.
Yeah, bad TNC, just looking real cool with it. Easy's in the chat. And only one person on the couch got their prediction correct. Thanks to Fido for complimenting me and getting my vote swayed. It was their game. Look, there were some initial rumblings. Look, there was that real early, gank at top at the same time as that whole situation happened at bot there. So Peace got off to an early lead. You sort of lived in the player cams looking a little bit grumpy about it as well. And then things just started to go right at a certain point, even when they were a man down in one of those fights as well. And that kind of Viego is the kind of Viego I remember from last year. Yeah. But know what we've been getting this split. Not so far.
But there's also been no Wukong against it at the moment. Wukong now being permanently banned. And this is the moment where the game, you're thinking, okay, Peace have done what they set out to do. They found their pick, straight to the Baron buff, looking good, and then they actually just get wiped and give over a soul. And it's crazy because we were even saying this during the game, Mac, but this wasn't perfect from Kanga at all. It's quite simply just perfect from their jungler.
To be fair, this fight in particular, Tianxi started it off with, I think it was a 3, if not 4-man ult there on the
4.
Renata.
Yeah.
And there was way less damage done from that than I expected, because everyone was relatively close, but they were all sort of just berserking all over the place. Turned around, though, you had to feel real bad for Limas, who just was out of... He got baited in, you know. He got real baited in to try to get close to the Jhin. Couldn't quite get in range and then just got hooked off the face of the earth. But again, you know, the Viego, the resets, everything played perfectly. The setup after they had that little lead. A lot of the fights that they won, they were about 2k gold down. But then after they finally got the Baron, got a little bit going, got that soul as well, they finally got a gold lead and they managed to figure out what was going wrong. But it was also, has to be said, off the back of a lot of mistakes from Peace. You know, Appy in particular towards the end there, getting caught out at bot alone. Not sure what was going on there. Also, Peace, they were trying to push out mid. There was the 2 of them. They were already like a man down at that point. And Elder was just about to spawn. They get caught out. They go down. Something was going wrong for Peace today. I'm not too sure what it was. But Kanga got another big dub. And you have to give it to him.
Guess bans are just overrated. I mean, ultimately for them, they got what they wanted. They played it to the best degree they could. And yeah, I mean, just look at the damage breakdown, right? That is a Viego that is carrying, despite building still very tanky to be durable enough to try and stick around to try and provide them with those passive resets. But I think, yeah, it reached a point, right? Obviously, Liv was having an absolute mare in the top lane, being really brought down. 17 minutes is what it took to get that first item online, but still packs a punch, right? You mentioned it, Rusty, in the draft, that there's going to be a lot of close-range champions coming towards him, and every single time it was always cutting off that exit point, that sort of that emergency hatchet for somebody like a Zeri to try and run away from. So
yeah,
ultimately, the team is a cohesive unit. They sort of just said, this part of our map belongs to us, and yeah, Peace just weren't able to execute.
They just made it work, and someone that made it work in the top lane after a rough initial start there was Lived. So let's have a chat with the big man. Big smiles now. I saw you looking a little bit grumpy in the player cams. Hey, you turned that around.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rough early game, bit of inting from everyone in that game. So yeah, it wasn't the cleanest game ever.
Yeah, certainly felt that way. Now look, we saw you pick Swain. Was that initially going to be a flex pick, or were you going to play it that whole time when it came through in the draft?
I mean, yeah, it's always a flex trick. I mean, you can always just like swap it at last second, but I think I probably not the flame fighter at all, but like I think I piloted a little bit better.
Look, you're not allowed to
I
flame
think,
Fido. He got me to change my prediction to Kanga and got my prediction right.
Okay.
So
I mean,
he's
yeah,
my boy.
Fido's the best player.
Yeah,
Fido's best,
Fido's the best player. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Look, yeah, he got caught out. At what point did the mental turn for you guys? Because everyone looked a little bit grumpy. Was it that first fight, or was it the fight over near the dragon?
I think it's like tough because I think in this game we were just really comfortable. I think our draft just matches into them really well. Like maybe we looked really grumpy on cameras. I think the attitude in game though was pretty good. I think our draft, like they just really want to run into us, right?
Yeah.
And I think our draft just like matches into that perfectly. So I think we're always in like a really comfortable spot. I think there's ever a time in this game where it felt like unplayable or anything. So yeah, I think the entire game just felt pretty good.
And look, I've been asking everyone, because it is National Compliment Yourself in the Mirror Day, I've been asking everyone what you say to yourself. I asked everyone else what they said yesterday, but I want to know what you say to yourself to get ready for a game, honestly. Do you say anything in particular to hype yourself up, or do you just like watch some anime to get real pumped?
This is a terrible day for me, because when I get complimented, I play worse. So I always give myself some negative reviews of myself to make myself play better.
All right, just workshop it on the fly. Well, there you go. I'll remember that one. I'll see how it works. Probably not going to go well, but I'll throw that in my playbook. Thanks, Liv, for having a chat, and enjoy the win.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Everyone's different, huh?
Yeah. We're going to be real, you know. Man, Mac, you suck at hosting. What are you doing here? I'm going to have the best day of hosting of my life. By the way, look, we have to talk about who's going to be the MVP for this game. Who?
Do we? Or do we just choose? Do we talk about it, or do we just choose?
We're supposed to talk. We decided we'd discuss it.
We would.
If you don't want to, just say names at me.
Foreigner.
They don't want to discuss it. They've done a lot of talk. Foreigner, MVP, the Dare MVP of the second game of the day.
Haven't
was
even
the
unlocked
big
him yet.
Man, look, we got to play a few more games,
too
and then
powerful.
after we beat Kitty in the fight mode, then we unlock Foreign. He's the next challenger. Anyway, look, 10, 2, and 7, 89% KP, doing work, and yeah, his resets definitely spoke for him. But Viego, we finally got to see someone popping off on it, Skim.
We certainly did, yeah. Both junglers were tracking each other really well. Both certainly keen to try and find an angle in, but at the same time kind of hesitant. But ultimately found those team fights where both were just bashing together and seeing what would really stick. And when it comes to sort of situations like that, Viego will flourish much more than what Azin can provide. So Foreigner putting in a carry performance, building like a tank, but still delivering carry damage.
Certainly was. And look, we've got a third game to get to here on the LCO, delivered by Menulog. But to get there, we've got to go through another break. Third game of the day, PGG up against Mammoth. Are we going to get another upset? Find out after this.
But Tianxi, has he done enough to try and swing the tides of this fight? It's a 4v5, let's not forget, but they're winning right now. But they found the hook! They found the twitch! And Limus is dead. He burnt the flash, he burnt the heal, but he didn't survive, and that's a big deal. Kanga still pressing forward, a shutdown for Tien, but he's dead for 40 seconds. A flash forward as Foreigner claims free. Now 5-1. He wants the quads. He wants the ace. And that's what he'll get.
And he'll get 4 leads.
Hey, look, menu bomb.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, the laugh.
See, look, there's the green and purple, bro.
I feel very confident that I'm going to win this one.
Are you serious?
No, but where's the eyes, man? Bot, as the fight goes on, Lisa looking for the kill on towards Darjong, getting it locked in place here by the Everfrost, and absolutely breaks his ankles. Fantastic from the mid laner of Gravitas. He's going to commit, he's going to jump on in, looking to try and stack up that Conqueror as quickly as he can. Exhaust goes out, but that gets cleansed away, and now they're both low, and then Ray flashes forward and says, I want one, I'll get 2, and I won't die.
Just bop.
But look to try and group on through and get away. But that's a massive 3-man route there from Appy. A self-cast ult to buy some time. He's low. They trade back 1-for-1. Lee Sin versus the Ezreal in terms of who receives that bounty. Tempered Fate goes on down.
Fighting on the break off cooldown.
Yeah, aggression brewing here in the bot lane, and even Tally's going to get amongst it right now. Look at try and shoot them with artillery from afar. Lionel's just going to burn. Out comes the artillery barrage. 1, 2, and 3. That's all it is.
It's just it, but he is doing it.
He wants to be literally. Okay.